Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great start of the week so far, and welcome to this new video on XRP. We're going to do a full update. I wanted to talk a little bit more fundamentals. Yesterday, someone commented that I did not even speak about the XRP ETF, and I understand that. Okay. But the thing is that I make these videos daily. When I talk about the XRP ETF on a Sunday, I'm not necessarily going to talk about it again on a Monday. Also, if we do not have extra data, right? So today we have extra data, and the data looks good, very good, I would even say. Not only for the XRP ETF, but also for the RLUSD stablecoin. At this point of time, that is the fastest growing major stablecoin. So that's major. Okay, take that in. Just take that in for a moment. That RLUSD launched almost a year ago. I think it was December the 10th or December the 15th last year. Is now growing about 30% in supply in the last month. So that is amazing. We've seen strong bullish momentum from XRP here as well, after initially reclaiming the value area low. Yesterday, I kind of misjudged it. I thought it was more likely with Bitcoin filling the CME gap that XRP would follow that and that we would fill the fair value gap to the downside. And I called the video something like XRP pullback warning. Little bit of a wrong choice, because ultimately what I also said in the video is that, I think we're going to pull back. I think we're going to fill those fair value gaps. But then afterwards, I do expect more bullish momentum and stability, right? So ultimately, I was quite bullish yesterday, but the title was pullback warning. That sounds bearish, right? So that was a little bit wrong, but ultimately, I still hold the same sentiment, okay? Because when we're talking about the fundamentals behind Ripple, behind XRP, like I said, the XRP ETF has been pulling in amazing numbers. Yesterday, the total net inflow was $164 million outside of the first day of trading. That's the biggest inflow we've seen from the XRP spot ETF. We have a lot of XRP spot ETFs from other issuers still launching, where I would expect major inflows as well. But right now, the total inflows are already almost $600 million. That's great. That's amazing, right? That's by far the most successful ETF launch we have seen out of all the ETF launches. Like, even with Bitcoin and Ethereum, we saw outflows. Okay, we saw outflows initially because of Grayscale, and I hate to say this, but I told you this. I said I think the XRP ETF, I think that can actually be a good one. One of the reasons being that there's no Grayscale spot XRP ETF trust. Right, so what happens very often is that those Grayscale trusts get converted into an ETF, and then the trust holders start selling off their XRP out of that Grayscale trust. XRP did not have that, or at least it had a very minimal one. I'd say the AUM assets under management were very little. So this is amazing news. Like I said, if you take a look at Ripple USD, the growth in the last month is 37% almost. PayPal USD is also growing, but outside of that, nothing is growing that much, right? I mean, you even when you talk about Falcon USD, when we're talking about BlackRock USD, when we're talking about USD1 by World Liberty Financial, those are all actually in the decline when it comes to supply. So that's amazing, right? So we actually have some positive fundamentals behind XRP. That is one of the key reasons why it's outperforming the market right now. I would say when you zoom into XRP right here, I think you have to understand the current dynamics of the markets. I would still say that the market is not very bullish, of course. And then XRP has hit a significant resistance level here with the monthly point of control, which is a high liquidity zone, the 30-day rolling VWAP. So I would say it's quite likely that we're going to again get a pullback. But my thoughts also, if you look at the daily time frame right now, are stable or bullish. I think it's likely short term that we're going to fill some of the imbalances. Our first cluster of imbalances is sitting around 2.14. Then we have some support right here at 2.06, and then the last support is at 1.98. Depending on the fundamentals, like which one of those levels we're going to fall back into, depends on the fundamentals. How the fundamentals are right now, what I would say is most likely for XRP with a bullish bias is that we'll drop down into 2.12. We'll find most support there. Maybe we're going to spike down into that level at the 7-day rolling VWAP and naked point of control at 2.06. I don't expect us, unless we get some major bearish development when it comes to those fundamentals, I don't expect us to drop down into that imbalance cluster at 1.98. It would be fine. Dropping down into 1.98, the structure would not change. The structure is that we have reclaimed a year-old range with momentum and good news. That's good, okay? However far we drop down, as long as we hold those imbalances all the way at 1.98, we're fine. But I would say, given how the fundamentals are looking right now, which is not the worst, I would say we're not going to drop down all the way into that. So those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know for now. So thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you all in my next videos, of course. But for now, take care and bye.